for being gracious enough to allow other individuals to observe and participate. Most of you, I think, are pretty familiar with our reentry program, being a 3-week program. Since it's COVID and we're doing it virtually and also a hybrid model, we had to condense the hours to 10 to 12:30 because 9 to 2 was just a little too long to ask people to be on a virtual meeting. And the reentry program is designed to help formerly incarcerated individuals reintegrate into the community, the job environment, and their domestic relationships. The primary goal is to reduce recidivism, but in the process, we also make them more work ready and able to go into our other programs, such as Connections for Employment, our vocational programs for CDL licensure, and also construction trades, our financial services programs, and just everything that we provide here at Impact. So I just wanted to introduce myself and give a brief description. But fortunately, everybody will be able to see in real time what we do here at Impact by being able to participate today with class number 90. So thank you all.
Thanks, Todd. First, I want to show you a wall that we have. It's called the Wall of Fame. And what it is posters of every class that we've had just about. Now, this is class number 90, so I don't have 90 up there now, 89 rather, but we had quite a few posters, and each poster represents the personality of that particular class. This is class number 90, and I'm gonna hold off and tell you what our theme is because we got someone to do that for us. But I want to say that I would be remiss if I would not say that I could not do this without Marion Gamble. I tell you, because it's a yin and a yang, up and down, you know, good, bad. Well, I don't know which one's the good, bad, but I'm just saying that between the two of us, you know, and she pulls me up. She doesn't make me feel stupid when I make mistakes and all that. And she's like a daughter, a friend, a confidant, a whole bunch of things to me. And I love her husband, her family, all that. So without any further, let's give her a little round of applause too, because Marion always do things. Okay. Now, without any further ado, we're going to actually do the class like we ordinarily would do it, get it started. First of all, we always tell people, we have agreements and rules, and we'll get to that pretty soon, but I just want to tell you this. You cannot videotape or talk about anybody's problems or anybody's name on Facebook and social media. I have a lawyer that I have to pay all the time, and anything get out about one thing that I do, I will sue you, period. We need a place where we can talk and feel safe, all right? Now, with that in mind, we call our program Redfish Academy. The R is for restored, the E for empowered, and the D is for determined. But a fish out of water can't make it. So eventually we're gonna have housing, more housing for those who have been restored. And our workshop is based on the misuse of power. And when you misuse power, things become isms, or racism, sexism, adultism, and we all have been affected by it and or been perpetrators of it. So what we do with our cognitive reconstruction is understand that sometimes you're gonna hear outside things and other things people say to you that make you act in a negative way. Well, we try to change all that. So the whole idea is to kind of feel safe first. And one of the biggest issues that we have, and I know Jerry's getting ready for it, is trust. So before we get started, let me say this to you. Some kind of way, I hope everybody agree that we are not going to divulge any information that you hear from these clients to anybody. You cannot do that. So just wave your hand if you acknowledge that. I know some of you, I can't see your faces, but I can feel your vibration. Okay. Now, if we were starting our class, I would ask my classmates, first of all, there's something about the news. And that's the reason why, and we'll explain that first. Can anybody, anything on the news that you heard last night that might affect your performance today. Because sometimes if a vessel's already full, you can't put nothing in it. So we try to empty it by checking out anything that you may have heard last night and clear the air. Even our guests, you know, I'm gonna limit it, but is there anything on the news that's newsworthy that's negative? Did anybody share anything that you heard? Whoa.
Another homicide on the hilltop last night.
Go ahead, Ms. White.
Another homicide, 2 homicides on the west side on the hilltop last night.
Yeah, I know. But anybody got any good news? Anybody got any good news?
Was the speech last night good news?
Today, right here, right now.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Jerry going to say something. Then we got Miss Morgan going to say something. Go ahead, Jerry. I got you in here.
I listened to the president speak last night. I think what he wants to do in the next 90 days was pretty profound with the infrastructure. That bill is supposed to pass with the guy's man that got killed in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of things before Congress in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
That if it's passed, it would have huge significance.
All right.
In my opinion.
That's good news. All right. Somebody else had their hand over here. Okay. Wait a minute. When you get a chance, I want you to scoot up something so they can see you.
This week in Franklin County is re-entry. So they gave a lot of different events and destinations with things going on this week.
What we doing?
Re-entry. Like for instance, today is what, the 28th? The 29th is a free food drive somewhere out here in Columbia. And I thought that was good because I have never heard of a whole re-entry week. So that was awesome.
Okay. Okay, like I said before, we always do our check-in. Do that first. And we, okay, now. So in order to have a group like this, you have to feel safe. When we talk about cognitive reconstruction, like I said before, there are some things that we had to revisit that happened to us in the past. And I think that a lot of the isms, either we're perpetrators or victims of it. So in order to do all that kind of stuff, we got to trust each other. So in order to talk about trust, we have Mr. Jerry Sweaty going to talk about trust. You ready?
Yeah. My name is Jerry Sweat. I've been at Impact my 3rd week. Trust, you can't, you have to feel comfortable to talk about your personal things that's going on in your life. If you don't feel comfortable, you're not gonna say anything. So you have to figure out who you're talking to. You got to find a way to get comfortable with the environment in the room.
Explain the trust scale. 1 to 5.
Oh, I'm a 4-4.
No, just explain the trust scale.
The trust scale 1 to 5. 1 is your low, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So depending on how your day is going and how you get comfortable with the group that you're in.
What was the average trust level for the group?
I guess about 3.5.
Okay.
Average trust level.
All right.
And the beginning is probably like a 1 or 2 for everybody.
For you,
so
for everybody?
know each other and balance out.
What would you say the trust level is now for the group?
Probably 4.5.
Would everybody agree with that?
Yes.
All right. You heard it. Now we can talk about stuff. All right. Now, in order to do that, we also have rituals. A ritual is important. Like what do you do first thing in the morning and all the kind of things like this. And so we all talk about our rituals. And one of the rituals, someone who's going to talk about rituals is a young man who actually, didn't you grow up on the same street I grew up on? We were talking about that, Myron?
Yes, sir, around that area.
Back in the day, he used to take me to school. What y'all laughing at? No, anyway, this is, Myron, can you explain our rituals and why it's important?
Sure.
And explain why. Okay.
My name is Myron Clark, and I represent the 90 reentry class, which is called 90 degrees, meaning that we are on the right angle. We have a ritual
Wait a minute,
that we
Jerry.
do.
Byron, tell them the name of our class again.
90 degrees, meaning that we are on the right angle. We have a ritual that we do called check-ins. Daily check-ins is a ritual that we do to address the barometer of how young people in the class feel on a scale from 1 to 5, physically and emotionally, with 5 being the best. I realize it helps out to allow everyone in the class understand how each one of us are feeling that particular day. I believe that it's important to know because in our class, we are subject to talk about any and everything, and we don't want to push or pressure any one another. Doing daily check-ins really sets the stage for what is about to come in the class. 9 times out of 10, it's all good. My check-in for today is 5-5.
I say. Okay, now, based on what he just said, we want to get everybody's check-in real quickly, even our guests, and we won't have time to wait. So just tell what your check-in is. The first score is your physical score. The second score is your emotional score. You don't have to explain why you feel that way. All right, Jeff, what's your check-in, Jeff? You're on mute, Jeff. You're on mute.
Sorry about that, sir. About a 5-4.
Thank you. All right. Ty, what's your check-in?
Four.
Thank you. Molly?
I'm at about a 4-4 also.
All right. How you doing today?
I'm good.
All right, good. Sherry, what's yours?
3-4.
3-4. Okay. Marion gave his. Ms. Gamble, what's your check-in?
I am a 4.736 and a 4.927.
Okay. Emily, what's your check-in?
I'm a 5-5 today.
Oh, great. And she had the birthday today, too. Ms. White, what's your check-in?
4-4.
4-4. All right. Valerie? Amber?
I'm
Okay, go ahead, Valerie.
4-4 also. I'm a
4-4. Great. Amber?
I'm about a 4-4.
Great. All right. Rochelle? Pride?
4.5 and a 4.5.
Whoa, thank you. Norma? Melissa?
Let's say a 5 and a 4.
All right. Wendy, I know you're the host, but what's your check-in?
I'd say 5-4. I feel good.
Okay. Very good. Miss Brown, Malika Brown.
I'm a 4-4.
Thank you. Ryan?
4-5.
Thank you. Tanya?
5.52 on both.
All right. Hope I pronounced it right. Lewinsky? Yes.
I'm about a 4.5 by 4.5.
Did I mess your name up?
No, it's Rachel Lewinsky. I just shortened it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Jackie? Okay. How you doing, Dr. Palmer? Dr. Palmer, okay. All right, now we're gonna go to the ones who are here virtually. I mean, live. Oh, wait a minute. Kiana Potts? Did you hear the check-in?
Hi, no. I ain't on the scale. I'm a 10-10, Dr. Dudley.
All right. You must, okay, okay, never mind. I'll leave that alone. Okay, wait a minute. Tell them who you are and your check-in.
My name is Mariska and I'm a 4-4.
My name is Chad. I'm with Emily. I'm a 5'5".
My name is Katrina and I'm a 4-5. I am Ursula and I'm a 4-4.
Did I get you on?
My name is Jerry. I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm a 5'5".
All right. And today I feel like not quite a 5 physically, almost. I'm about a 4, and emotionally about a 3-5. I don't make sure this goes off all right. You know, we're so passionate about what we do. We hope we have time to get everything in, but it's important. We can't slow. We want to do the process as we do it. Now I won't be calling on everybody to do certain things, the viewers, but all of us are going to present this. Now, as we done our check-in, like I said before, we are concerned about what happened to each other. You know, so, you know, there's a situation where somebody got some good news from one of the kids they hadn't heard from in a long time, and they shared it with the group. So there's been a lot of personal things that we know about each other already, but also to talk about ourselves in an abstract way, okay? And we thought it was kind of fun to talk about ourselves as it relate to a particular object, for example. And we call this activity artifacts. Now, we used to do it live, of course, when people were here, but Ms. Gamble is going to put on the screen, and we're going to have Mariska is going to talk about the artifacts. And I'm going to turn around so you can see Mariska. Now, she's a little nervous, but she shouldn't be. And she's one of the most colorful people that I know. This woman, I mean, she put clothes on with colors, and I said, man, she's got to be a designer. Wait a minute, let's see if it shows up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mariska, and I'm in the re-entry class here at Impact. We was asked to choose an artifact that we related to during one of our classroom activities. And one of the first artifacts that I chose and I actually related to was the ball glove, because it reminded me of me and my son playing ball and me teaching how to play catch. I also chose a second one because of my daughter, which was the rope, and it reminded of us playing jump rope when she was little. But also I'd like to ask a couple of participants in the classroom what they chose and how they related to them. Good morning, Jazz. Can you let us know which artifact you chose and how you related to it, please?
When I first saw it, first thing that stood out to me was the suitcase. I don't know if it was because it was the biggest thing on the picture, but the suitcase, because I love to travel, and the handcuffs, because even though I'm out, I still feel confined and locked up because I can't move and travel how I like to, for probation reasons, whatever. So those are the two that stood out for me.
Okay, thank you. And Molly, I'd like to ask you the same thing. Which artifacts did you choose and how did you relate to them, please?
Okay, hello, good morning. I chose the ball and chain to symbolize my struggle with addiction, and also the Play-Doh because it reminds me of when my kids were little, we used to play with Play-Doh all the time.
Thank you.
Okay, as you see, we really had a lot of fun, and the one I related to is the fishing. There's a young man, there's a guy on a boat fishing down there, and the reason why I picked that because when my father was alive, before he made his transition, I never really fished with him because I didn't like worms. But I overcame that fear, and now I can fish with the best of them. And sometimes when I'm by myself, I'll be thinking about him. And those are good thoughts. The whole idea is that we have to be more intentional about having good thoughts. The bad one's gonna come, but you have to create the ones that are good, okay? Now, Ms. Gamble will keep me on track, but let me just say this to you, that we talk about change, okay? And change just don't happen overnight. It's a process that you go through. And to explain that process, it's going to be done by Molly, if I'm not mistaken. Is it right? All right. So anyway, before we do that, I just want to say that, and we look at every stages of change, because in order to change, you got to know the steps in order to change. In other words, somebody put a gun on you or threaten you on the outside. Yeah, I changed. Yeah, if you do that. But what happens when you change from inside out, not outside in? So Molly's going to explain this to you, the way she experienced change. Thanks, Molly.
Okay. So the model for behavioral change is basically 7 steps that you take to change your way of thinking and your behavior. So the first step would be awareness. A participant is aware of his or her concern. In my case, for example, I would use the fact that I have an addiction or I was an addict. I'm not currently in active addiction, but this process can help get you through it. So you have to know what the problem is. Exploration, which is participant is trying new ways of resolving the problem. So basically you can brainstorm and practice different methods to resolve your issues. So for example, in my situation, try going to Mary Haven, detox, rehab, counseling, get on the Vivitrol shot. You have to have step 3 would be commitment. Participant has taken ownership of his or her concerns and has made a commitment to improve the necessary skills. That's basically just your determination. Skill development, participant is working on his or her issues, but it takes a conscious effort. Refusing people, places, and things. Skill refinement, participant is working on his or her issues and their efforts are becoming less conscious than before. And then internalization, participant has developed an attitude and feelings about their issues that feel healthy. So like going to meetings and having just a positive outlook. And then finally, change. Participant is able to use the model for change to affect other cultural diversified issues when they occur. Thank you.
Molly, thank you very much. You did a good job. I just want to say that. Thank you very, very much. Now, let me say this is probably the first time for a lot of these folks have ever spoken in front of a group. And Molly's a little nervous. Now, she also made a poster. And so let's see it, Molly. She was going to bring it, but it's raining out there, so she didn't want to get it wet. But look at that. Class 90.
We have the class 90 and then 90 degrees right here. And then we're on the right angle. And then we have all of our names here on the stars. So.
Oh, wow. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. And I don't want to run out of time because I could elaborate on each one of them. And I'm really proud of Molly because she's catching up with herself. She hasn't caught up with herself yet. But when she does, she's going to say, man, where have I been? Okay. Now, after that, we know sometimes there's some certain conversations you can't have at work. But we have them here on our group. And there's a reason why we do that. And we have a young man here, and I say young man because he got a lot of young ideas. We call him JJ. And first of all, I want to thank him for his service. He was in the military, and he'll tell you more about that. But the reason why we had difficult conversations, because on the job, suppose you sat in your lunchroom and you're not a Trump fan. Somebody said, man, I sure wish Trump was back in office again. And you heard it. How would you react? I know how I would want to. We always tell people react with your intellect over your emotion, your I over your E. If you put your E over your I, then you got an argument with that person. So Jeff is going to talk just a little bit about those conversations.
Jeff is going to talk to us about negative versus positive.
Oh, who's going to do that other piece then? Thank you, Mary.
You just did the current events. And the current event is what we do along with our check-ins, because there's so much going on in the world today that affects us, and having an opportunity in a safe place to just express how you feel. But as Doc was saying, when you're at work, sometimes with family members. If you're like me, you have family members that when you have certain conversations, it can get a little heated with family as well. So we practice when we're together how to talk about those emotional topics that are happening and making sure that we're putting our intellect over our emotions, knowing when to stop those conversations and end on a positive note, because everyone is entitled to their opinions. So we definitely cover current events right after our check-ins.
Okay.
Now, what JJ is about to do is the negative versus positive. You want to talk about that, Doc?
Yeah, this exercise Jeff's going to do is talk about wave your hands if you ever had a little nickname when you were a kid. And I can't see some of you folks, but I hope you're waving to yourself. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes it's kind of hard to live down those negative names, and you start believing them after a while. So anyway, make a long story short, Jeff is going to give you an exercise we use, and it's called negatives and positives. Negative things people say to you, but the positive things out of that. So Jeff's going to do it.
Good morning. Is everybody doing well today?
Yes. Go ahead.
My name is Jeff, and I'm going to go through what we normally do as a group. This lesson is in regards to one side negative of all the names that you were called growing up, and what to this day stands out still in a negative fashion. Then what we do, what I learned later, is you go directly from the names that you were called directly to the positive side on the same line, and you find what the positive reaction is to that exact name that you were called. Now, I'll give you an example of mine. Growing up, bossy, spoiled, compulsive, naughty, stubborn, and conceited. To this day, what stands out is two. I have a primary, which was bossy, and I don't like that term, but that stands out, and stubborn. So what I found from our qualified host that has taught me a lot since I've been here, along with the group, bossy being my primary, I took that over to the other side. So if you follow that to the positive side, it shows, let me see, good director and leader. I guess in my philosophy is I don't see myself as anybody that feels I'm better than other people. I just take direction in whatever it is I do, and I just try to do a good job or show the best way to do the positive thing, and basically cut once, not cut twice. And on the leader side, I kind of find that's a good quality that I found that goes with this sheet. So that is my primary. My second was stubborn, and I hate being called stubborn, but I have a negative to that. And follow negative of stubborn to the positive side, and it'll say focused and determined. That made my day when I read that, and that does kind of meet in my life. Now, on this sheet, everybody has negatives that they have been called growing up. They've had names that may not even be on this list, but as a class and as a group, we learn things about ourselves. And with Dr. Dodley and Marion Gamble, Lisa Todd, have all showed us that with change, you can become a better person into society. Now, with that, I came up with a slogan last night that kind of fits with us as a group. We as a reentry group into the community are here to change lives from the inside out. There is no turning back, only forward into the community to change our lives as others that we are around. So thank you very much. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and God bless.
Very good. Very
Thank you,
good.
sir. Thank you, sir.
I just want to tell you
Semper
that
Fi.
you can probably tell that Jeff liked to talk, and that's good. But he shortened that up, Betty, and I'm really impressed at how he did that because Jerry is a visionary, and he got a lot of work he wants to do. So with that in mind, also there's a lot of conflict that we have within ourselves sometimes, and the conflict sometimes can look like two wolves. And so what's going to happen? Jerry is going to talk to you like maybe a Native American chief would talk to his kid, but the message is still the same, no matter what, because we are more alike than we are different, and we have that sign up. So Jerry, are you going to talk to us about the two wolves?
Yeah, my name is Jerry Sweat. I represent Impact in Group 90 Degrees. I'm going to read this brief synopsis on the wolf. An old Cherokee is teaching their grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, said to the boy. It's a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. His anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued, the other is good. His joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of us and inside of you, too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and asked grandfather, which wolf will win? And the Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. And let me just break that up in a small synopsis. I'm a heroin addict. So when I'm chasing heroin, this, that, and the other, that's what I feed. But when I'm not on heroin, I'm a pretty decent guy, and I feed him. I like to be educated. I like to talk. I like to learn. I like to eat. I like to travel. So my point is, when I'm feeding that heroin addict, when I'm feeding that heroin guy, I'm nothing. That's all I want to do is get high.
How you feed the good wolf?
I feed the good wolf by reading, talking, reading my Bible, talking to family members, going to school, just doing positive things.
Listen, I just want to thank Jerry for doing that because, like I said before, everybody can talk and want to talk and extend things. And that's the whole idea of these exercises. And when he talked about the good wolf, we always asked every group member, we went through this and asked them how they feed the bad wolf. And we won't have time to do it today, but we all went through this. But the most important thing is how we feed the good wolf. And so everybody went through the same exercise on the good wolf and the bad wolf. Now, also in that bad wolf, we talk about the missocialization that our young men get today. Unfortunately, there are a lot of things that happen to make us be what we call the act like a man box. In other words, a box is to store stuff, And so when we talk about act like a man box, we talk about all those little things that put us in that box. In order to get that started, we're going to talk to Chad. And then after that, we're going to see a role play. So he's going to explain all this to you. So let's give Chad a nice round of applause. Chad don't say much unless it's positive.
Good morning, my name is Chad. I'm actually glad Mr. Dolly gave me this topic to talk about because I'm raising young men myself. So growing up as young men, we were grown into a role of how a man is supposed to act, how a man is supposed to think. We're taught that we're supposed to be strong, fearless, not to cry, to take care of your household, to show no emotion, to stand up for yourself, to take charge, to be successful, or to have your own. So by the time we're adolescent, we believe that there are only two choices, to either be a man or be a boy, to be a winner or to be a loser, to be tough or to be a winner, to be a champ or to be a chump. And going into adulthood, or even still as an adolescent with that mindset can more than often play a major role in the way you act or the way you treat people moving forward. In future friendships, fatherhood, relationships, and if interpreted the wrong way, it can come off very negative, which you will see here shortly in a small role play that we'll be showing you. So with that being said, there are different ways, like Jeff told us, it's a negative and a positive way to everything, that we can instill the same message, but in a better context. because the wrong attitude not only affects you and your character, but everyone around you as well. So instead of saying don't cry, we can teach our young men to stay in control of your emotions. Instead of saying don't be scared, teach them to be brave or to be fearless. Instead of saying take control of your household, teach them to be responsible. Instead of telling them to fight, tell them to stand up for themselves or to be strong if the circumstances arises. Because the way you interact with people is the foundation of what your life will become, the type of person you are perceived as. So without further ado, we'll now show you the role play demonstrating what the misinterpretation of acting like a man can look like.
I want a copy of that.
Yay.
You know what's interesting? When Jerry, when we asked Chad to do that, he had the young man himself, and he wrote that. He doesn't know that what he wrote, I'm going to put my name on it. No, I'm not going to. But I'm just saying that I really love the way he did that. And, you know, there's kinetic energy and potential energy. He's using that kinetic, but that potential, boy, is overwhelming. And I can't wait to get him involved with some of these young men. Okay, without any further ado, we're going to show you a quick video. And I hope we have time. You know, we're supposed to stop at 11:30, but we're going to get this in. So here's a video, and interesting because the role play we're going to do is going to feature a person who went through the reentry program who's actually now employed here at Impact. Y'all might know him when you see him. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gamble.
Okay, family, listen, we're back again. Like I said before, there can be a role play.
One moment, please. There you are. There you are.
That's going to depict this father talking to his son. And what I want you to do, if you are female, I want to know how you would feel if you saw that from a perspective of being his mother, this boy's mother, which means that you are the wife of this man in the box. And if you're a young lady, you could be his mother or his sister. And I want you to view it and think how they would feel from their perspective. For the men, that represents you, period. I don't care if you're 55 or 100 years old, you still in this role play are being depicted as a 10-year-old. And so in other words, I'm talking to this young man in the movie that we're making, but this is you sitting in that chair. And in your journal, I want you to journal if you've ever went through it, what part of it, and if you perpetuating it yourself. Thank you very much. As I said before, I'm going to do a role play. I don't particularly care about doing it, but it's really realistic. Dana is going to play my son, who's 10 years old. I'm going to be his dad. I'm going to come home from work and confront him with his grade card and his behavior that my wife, his mom, has been complaining about. So remember, for the men, this is you in this picture. And we also have another person here who's going to represent his sister. Dana, turn off the TV set, son. Dana! No, shut up! Shut up! Oh, no. Listen, you blow one more time, and you be blowing because I'll beat you behind. I'm telling you right now, why did you blow and act all crazy when I told you to turn off the TV set? Shut up! You know what? Look at me. I am sick and tired of me coming home and your mother getting on my back because this room looks like it's crazy. There's potato bags, chip bags, popcorn all over the place. Why? You know what? You 2 minutes for me beating your ass. You say one more word, I swear to God. Dana, don't do that. Don't make me smack you. I want to tell you something right now. I am sick and tired of coming home and your mother telling me all this crap. And secondly, you never bring your credit card home. And you see that credit card? It got D's on it. You know what D stand for? You know what it stands for? Dummy! Dummy! You look at me. I am not raising no dummies in this house. You understand me? Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what, Dan? I'll tell you something now. Your eyes getting a little red like you're crying. Crying like some woman? You know what? Look at me. With these D's and these bad grades, I am sick and tired of you. I tell you something right now, young man. If you don't get it together, I'm beating you behind, keep you in the house, and something else. I'm tell you right now. I want you to grow up and act like a man. Get out and act like a man. I mean it. I want to ask, how many of you have ever seen that or experienced it? Now, I'm going to ask this young lady over here. You playing his sister. If you saw that, what would you do?
I would ask you why.
What? No, wait. No, you would ask me nothing. I'm raising him. You understand me? You understand me? All right. Well, act like it. I'm telling you something right now. Between you and him, I'm sick and tired of y'all stuff. And I mean it. That kind of concludes the role play. But think about being in this room, all of us together, and look at the reaction that we got from this. This is a real powerful moment for me because I don't like doing it, but I know that it happens. So please use your journal and talk about if you were going through this, how you would feel if you was his wife or the mother or his sister. Thank you very much.
Man, we might shorten that up a little bit too. Some,
Excuse my language.
because it's 11 o'clock now.
Just let me know, Doc. You want me to stop?
Stop crying like a girl. You ain't no sissy.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and but hit me some more.
Let me say that the reason why we stopped it is because of time. But let me just summarize what Dana said. He actually picked in the artifact a hand grenade. He said because every now and then he just go off. He don't know why it is. And he kept my hand grenade. I never got it back. Well, anyway, he's gonna process. He said that was just the way it was when he was a kid and so forth. And he's still working through things. So that was the processing. We always process anything that we do. And like I said, after each episode, everything that we do, we ask the participants to journal and write about their experiences with it as part of their homework assignment. So I guess I want to say that that box in the role play, Dana did a real good job of talking about how it made him feel. Okay. And I'm not sure, I'm quite sure that the Chad is finished. Well, no, I know he's not, but I don't know if he want to say anything else or not about it. No, he said he don't right now, because we want to try to cram everything in, because we've got some real important things. As you notice, each activity gets more progressive as we go along. So we're going to talk about the effect that man has on a woman. So to talk about that, we don't want the woman to be in a box. She's a proud, all that kind of stuff like this. So we also talk about the difference between a woman and a lady. So without any further ado, we're going to have Emily, who's also, by the way, a yoga expert and meditation and all that kind of good stuff. She rubbed off on me. Okay, Emily.
Hey, Doc, it's Sherry.
Sherry? Sherry, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. All right, thank you. And Sherry's been practicing it. There you go, Sherry.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Okay,
Good.
so the difference of my interpretation of a woman versus a lady, basically, is being a woman. We all are born into being a woman. However, when you're a lady, most ladies refrain from using vulgar languages. They dress more tastefully. They're very well read and intelligent. they speak with confidence and they talk clearly, and they are always very well read and are very well understood. They're very mindful of people's time and are very punctual. They always use certain things like no thank you and yes please. They're typically considered delicate and gentle. They're considered caretakers and nurturers. They're never considered to be aggressive or and typically more docile and easygoing. That is something that I'm definitely striving to be. I've always been more of the assertive type, so that is something that I've learned a lot from taking this class. So
After we do the flower with me,
so that there is something that I think has been definitely an eye opener for me. I always thought that a lady and a woman were one and the same, but upon doing this cohort and this lesson, I've learned the vast difference. So I do want to say thank you so much for this opportunity and have a great day.
Okay. Now I want to, along with that exercise, there was 3 questions we asked the men to answer. To respond to. We wanted to know, what do you think we should know about women? And the ladies all said what they wanted, and the guys had to repeat it back verbatim. Okay. The second question was, what I never want to hear a man say again. All right. And the ladies mentioned those things, and the guys repeated those things back. But last but not least, we talked about being an ally. Okay. So the whole idea is to listen to each other in relationship to things. So are we doing, Ms. Gamble, you gotta help me out now. Are we doing the personality? Are we going to do the Jihad Window?
So you have Latrina there, and
yes,
she had something she wanted to say, and then
okay,
the personality colors.
Okay, let me tell you this about Latrina. Latrina got something she want to say, and then we're going to do the Jihad Window, and Ursula, who's going to do it, just stepped out for a few moments to go to the restroom. But I think what Latrina wrote, and it was so interesting because it got wet coming here, and the ink was run everywhere, but she did it over again. But she really don't have to write it out. It comes from her heart. And she got the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. It's live, or is it Memorex? So she's live. So without any further ado, we're gonna have Latrina. And like I said before, she had a position with a job that she actually was on cast on her job, and her employer let her do it. And that's a message to other employers to allow our folks to be on. So without any further ado, here's Latrina.
Hi, good morning. I want to share a little bit about our group, 90 Degrees, and why it's been important to me. At first, I thought it was going to be difficult for me to participate because of my work schedule. However, I was able to explain to my manager more about the program and that I wanted to be committed and finish what I started. She was very understanding and allowed me the freedom to work as well as to do this program. This program has offered me a lot of insight into being accountable and responsible, caring, as well as being aware of myself and my group members. I've learned the importance of healthy relationships, communications, and to love and to know how to be loved. There's many more things as well as flexibility. I can truly say that our group, 90 Degrees, is on the right path. Being a part of these people's lives for 3 weeks and experiencing a deeper connection through being able to trust others has brought me to be a part of the second family.
And again, that's from a person who don't like to talk. Right. Okay. But that comes from the heart. Now, just to make sure, we want to give you time to maybe answer this question, but to kind of wrap up, there's the other activities that we didn't have time to talk about, but the progression to all these activities lead us to a self-assessment of who we are. And I can't think of a person better to do that than Ursula. Ursula went through our program in 2011, and she, 2012? All right. and she's come back because of her success of what she's doing. She's a certified drug and alcohol counselor. She got her own business, but we had a taste of her. So can you, I want you to get a little, can y'all see her? Get a little closer, wait a minute.
If she can get a little bit closer, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Here.
You can sit right here.
Favorite spot.
Get your chair. Got it.
Okay. Sit myself down.
There you go.
Good morning, everybody. Y'all see me now? Hi, Miss Mary, you look so beautiful. Good morning. My name is Ursula Moore, and I went through the program, the reentry program at Impact in 2012. When I went through the program, it was a lot of us in a group. I think we had a group of about 12 or 14. It was a large group, and we were bad. I can say we were a very rambunctious group, still all caught up in our street behaviors and our street attitude, and like a willingness to change. We did not want to change. We wanted to get out and keep what we were doing, just try to be a little bit slicker at it. And that was the census, like the majority census of the whole group. We was all up to no good because we hung together after group, you know, we weren't supposed to. But I can honestly say that a lot of things from this group at this reentry program and the group that came after that stuck with me throughout my life journey for the last 10 years or more. I will tell y'all that when I went through the program, Miss Marion stayed on my butt, Miss White stayed on my butt, Dr. Dolly stayed on my butt. But I'll tell you what, the things that they taught me, I've always referred back to them. I used to bother Miss Marion when I was going through gaining custody of my granddaughter. When I even thought about being in a relationship, I would go to her office and I took him up there so she could critique him for me and tell me later what she thought. So the respect factor has always been with these people. Dr. Dolly, I've watched him mentor to my stepson as well as my cousin, Cedric Granger, who's now going on to do phenomenal things through another group and facility that they're doing. But enough about them. Let me tell you a little bit about me since I got out. When I went through the program, we also did the technique of the Jihad Window. And at that time, had no understanding, no appreciation for this technique. Now that I have my degrees and my license back, I totally understand the necessity and the reason behind why they made us do this. I can say for myself that when I went through the group, I was a liar, I was a drug addict, I was a thief, I was a conniving person, a total manipulator, and a person who had a lot of negative self-images of myself. Through this activity, I tried to lie my way through it in the beginning, which it didn't work. Not only did my counselor see straight through me, but my peers saw straight through me. This exercise, the Jihad Window, is a technique that teaches you to be very open and honest with yourself and allow you to let others tell you what they see in you from their perspective, to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you being willing to, in a group environment, allow yourself to be vulnerable and transparent in a group. That's not easy for a lot of us, especially a lot of us that's been incarcerated or who've been through different things in our life, situations in our life. But the 4 windows, you guys, the 4 windows are the pains, and it's an amazing thing. Now that I'm through in my life, I'm actually teaching my grandchildren to use the Jihad Window to look at their self and allow others to see you and that tell you about yourself. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to take this corrective criticism. You have to be awakened to that. You have to be brutally honest about who you are, the things you're ashamed of, and the things that you want to become. You have to allow those hidden secret places to be told on. And that's one of the strongest things I remember. I can't say this word here, heuristic, and HEURI, heuristic.
Okay.
Okay. It enables someone to discover, learn something from themselves, like hands-on learning. And that's one of the words that's in
the Jihad Window that we learned. But I'm going to tell you, while I was in this group with Dr. Darley and Miss Marion and a couple other, Miss White and them, Dr. Darley would come in and tell us every day some words in Swahili. And I remember this word particularly in Swahili because he didn't tell us that these two psychologists took this and formed this word Jahari out of their name, Jahara out of their name, their two first names. That's not what he taught us. He taught us the Swahili word for Jahara, which means diamond. And if you think about it, we are all diamonds in the rough that are trying to break free of whatever self-taught prophecy that we have or what someone else has put on us or we did to ourselves. And when I think about us being diamonds in the rough and one day that we will shine, trust me, this group has allowed me to shine. This group has allowed me to not be afraid to stand up for myself, to be honest and open, and to accept criticism and not be willing to fight for someone else, but actually fight for myself. I've done that. I went back to school. I've gained my degrees back. I stayed out of trouble. I stopped lying and I relied on God to be my guide. Leave me alone, Miss Marion. I stopped lying and I just really, and that was a scary thing for me because lying was my security. And when y'all just did that model with security things, I didn't see a blanket or anything on there because my lying was my security blanket. I couldn't allow you to see the real me because my insecurities told me that you wouldn't like who I am, or because I didn't like who I was. So I had to become vulnerable and like everything about myself. Some I still don't. This weight I don't like, but that's why I'm changing it though. Things that I don't like, I can't change, and that's what I'm working on. I hid myself behind long hair forever. I had long hair all my life. I hid myself behind my hair because I didn't want you to see my face. I didn't want you to see me. Everything I did in life, I hid myself. This group and so many other things that has helped me, so many people has helped me along the way, has allowed me to be myself, my true self. And now everything that I've learned within going to school and my faith has allowed me to be able to give back everything that I am awarded to give back. And I do it wholeheartedly and freely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't like to tell people about
She said she don't like to talk. Y'all believe that?
I don't.
But she does a real good job at it. All right. Now, like I said before, there's a lot more things that, like I said, for the Jihad Window, it's kind of a self-assessment of what you need to do in order to prove who you really are. So we only have about 10 more minutes. And I think that what we'd like to do, if you don't mind, if you have a certain question, what do you think, Ms. Gamble?
We have the personality colors, and Wendy and Johnny said that if we needed a couple extra minutes that we can do that. So definitely want to cover the personality wheel, which is Emily.
Okay, very good.
All right, so the activity that we did, the primary colors personality test, was designed to help individuals gain relational insight and to have a better understanding of ourselves as we work with, influence, inspire, encourage, and lead those around us. As we went around the group, we tried to guess what color we thought the others were based on our interactions with one another. It helped us as a whole to think about who we are, how we approach the world, and how our personalities impact our personal and professional working relationships. Through this activity, I learned I was purple, and it pointed out my strengths, which were that I was organized, I love effectiveness, and I'm level-headed, but also my weaknesses, where I have a very narrow focus, which basically means I tend to work too much. I can be abrupt at times, and it reminded me also that I needed to strive to make time in my life for my family members. I do immerse myself in work, and there seems to never be enough time in a day. And because of this view, I tend to neglect important relationships in my life. So this just reminded me to reach out to my children more, to reach out to my friends more, to notice the blessings that I have around me, and to basically stop and smell the flowers instead of walking past them every day.
I'm orange.
Okay, as you see, that the personality wheel also helps you to understand, like if you have a boss who's bossy and all things, well, that's a red person. And you know, and that helps you to deal with them. And we also, some of the people in our family have taken that assessment with their spouses and with their kids and so forth to see about relationships. So it works out real well. And again, Emily, thank you very much for doing that for us. Okay. Who's next, Ms. Gamble?
So the personality was the last thing that we had on our agenda. If you want to move to questions, or is there anything that anyone wants to comment on that they've seen or heard or add to, especially the man in the box. We also had a video for the lady in the flower. And what we stressed in Lady in the Flower with the woman versus a lady is that those terms are created by society, and we define who we are. We define what we do, we define what's important, and we make sure that we hold on to it. But definitely people make that distinction between the two. And when we discussed the woman in the flower, we talked about the how the man in the box was looking for a certain type of woman in order for him to stay in the box. We try to make sure that everything is well-rounded. And I want to point out, we also do a segment on love notes, which is relationships. And relationships are important. And we have I always get anxious when I start talking about it, when like the mother of relationships is in the room. It just makes me nervous and my hands start sweating. So I'm talking about Marcia White. So I'm probably not going to say a whole lot about it, but we do cover love notes. And Marcia is definitely my teacher, my inspiration, my mentor. She's a walking relationship. And we pulled relationships and love notes into the reentry curriculum because relationships are everywhere, whether it's personal, at work, in a group, wherever you are with your family, you're always in a relationship. And so you have to understand what that takes, recognize a healthy and an unhealthy relationship. And we dig into where we got our fine relationship skills from, which usually started back in our past during our influential years. If you're like me, no one sat you down and said, okay, here's how you act in a relationship. You just bumped your head and say, ooh, that was wrong. Or you tripped, like that was wrong. Or something like that. You never really sat down and figured it out beforehand. It was through trial and fire. So we tried to take time to go over some of those indirect messages that we got in our past that we didn't know we picked up along the way, but they show up in our relationships and how we act and how we love. And then we determine what we want to keep and what we want to throw away. Because some of them were great and they've served us well, but some of them we didn't mean to pick up. And we have to shake those off and come up with some new healthy ways to handle relationships. So we definitely cover all bases in these 3 weeks that we have with each other. And I just wanted to make sure I threw in that love notes piece.
Yay, I remember those now.
And I just want to tell you too, that we do have a role play that we're not gonna be able to show you of Miss Gamble being married to me as a man in the box and her reaction to her daughter who comes home late. And she used a certain term I'd never heard before in my life. But anyway, if we get a chance one of these days, we'll show you the video that she did when she approached her daughter, who actually also works here at Impact at the same time. I just want to say that before we officially end, we're gonna see if we get, you have some questions or comments you might want to make, is that it's important with relationships, the whole relationship to you, that's important. In other words, sometimes you might be in a relationship with someone and you want to get rid of them, but you forget about the good things. And I want to say that I have a life partner. Now, a life partner is someone who you argue with, whatever, and so forth, but the bottom line is like a magnet. If you get attracted to each other, you can't help it. Okay, and not sexual and nothing like that at all. It's just something that God has already did that we don't know anything about. So I think it's just like two pillars on a temple. If you put the pillars of a temple on both sides, then one side going to tilt. So you got to put a pillar on both sides. And I think Marcia and I have been that way for the past, I don't say how many years, but I'm just saying that that's my life partner. And we argue sometimes, but we always spring back together again when it comes to programming and working with our kids. And then that's a long story. I want to go into that. So I think what we'll do is just, if you have any comments you might want to make, I know we're supposed to end at 11:30. It's 11:26 now. Okay. And Ms. Gamble, you can go ahead, Ms. White.
So Johnny sent me a message and said that you and Marion can take more time as needed if you wanted to go in a little bit more about the box and the flower or the Jihad windows or love note.
That's a smart answer. What how much time? We say how much time.
Let's say another half an hour. Let's say another half an hour.
Well, I want to still allow time for people to make comments.
Okay.
All right. So with that in mind, this flower that we talked about.
Would you like me to show the video? You want me to show the video, Doc?
Yes.
Okay. You know how you hate to see yourself on video? But I'm all right.
Now y'all think she's a nice person, but she come up with some language I never heard before.
He's so funny.
She can get down, girl.
Okay, here we go.
And the thing about it, as this role play went on, I had to process, and I asked people, some of our group members, how they would react, and I reacted the way I would if I was in that box. And some of the members got mad at me, but at playing that role play, I didn't care, so forth. But they wanted to talk, I wouldn't let them talk, you know, and I actually portrayed that role. So Miss Gamble, you're my wife, and that daughter come in late, I want you to chastise her.
All right, here we go. So now we're going to do the role play for Lady in the Flower, where I am the mother of a man. I'm the mother of a 15-year-old who's just coming in after her curfew. And I'm also the wife of the man in the box. So this is our role play. Lisa. Mom. Really? Really, Lisa? Mom. Really, Lisa? Mom. Do you know what time it is? It is 12 o'clock. What time were you supposed to be here, Lisa? Lisa, listen. I've been sitting here by the phone. It hasn't rang one time. Not one time. I don't understand. Do you know how hard it is for me to be on your side? I'm always on your side. I'm always doing everything I can. I get you what you want. I'm the buffer between you and your dad. And then the one time he's not here, you do this to me? What you think, because I'm a woman, I'm weak? You think you just get over on me because you don't think I'm gonna get upset? You don't think listen, stop saying my name. Stop talking to me because you don't respect me. Or you wouldn't have came in at this time. It's 12 o'clock. I had to fight for 11 o'clock. What if your dad is somewhere watching and then telling me that I don't know how to do my job? That's why he has to be the way he is. And what do you have on? You left here with leggings and a shirt that was long enough to cover your ass, and I was hanging out. Mom. You went and you changed? What are you advertising? Ain't nothing open this time of night but Walmart and legs, and you don't look like a Walmart to me. Mom. Lisa, stop saying my name, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, you look like a hoe. That's what you look like. You look like you a hoe. You look like you tried to get with some man and give your body to him. What, for some change? What, so he could buy you some shoes? I raised you better than this, Lisa. It's not that hard. You're 15. What are you doing out this time of night? Mom. Okay, listen. I don't want to turn into your dad. I don't want to. All I'm going to tell you is I can't even stand to look at you. So get you and your short skirt wearing behind out of here, change your clothes, and act like a lady. Let's go. Let's go. Out here looking like you trying to sell something. So I want you ladies to think about a time in your life where you were talked to in that manner. You were told that you were trying to be something other than just wanting to be cute because you're a woman, and having those things said to you, whether it was said to you by a woman or maybe even a man, just take a moment and think about whether it's been said to you or maybe you said it to someone or to your children, and we'll talk about it more later. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Gamble, you want to say anything about that before I start talking?
So the point of the video was the man in the box was outside or somewhere, or she thought he was, but because of the way he talked to her, she felt like she had to prove that she could sustain and hold her own. And all of those things that was said to her was basically, she was doing a generational thing and putting it on her child, and just reflecting all of that on her, which is a lot for a teenager. Because when you're in your teenage years, if anybody remember, you're still trying to find yourself, you're still trying to figure things out. And it wasn't condoning the act of not coming home, but it was the manner of which she talked to her and some of the seeds that she planted in her head about being a hoe and some of those other things. So in doing that video, it was, like Doc said, it's very draining because you have to take yourself to a place that you don't stay in often. At least you try not to stay in often if you got teenagers, but you don't stay in often, and not to allow a child to speak, and how that can carry on into your adult years. So that was Lisa. I want to make sure I say that. And she works at Impact, and she also went through the program, and she has a wonderful story, her and Dana both.
Right. Now, I would like to try something. Not the family of the 9-degree angle, but our guests. How would you react to that man talking to your son or your daughter the way I did? I'd like somebody to tell me how you would respond, and I'm going to respond back to you from that man in the box. So can we get somebody to tell me what you would do, but identify yourself so I can call you by your name? Someone other than the family, someone, our guest. Don't let me call on you. All right. Tanya. She's not there. Morgan.
I knew you were going to call on me. I guess I would say that it's not your place to talk to my kids.
Can you hear me, Morgan?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. What would you have told that man? What would you say about the way he was treating your daughter, his son, or Mr. Gamble? What would you say?
That leave it up to me to discipline them and
what would you
talk to
do?
them. Yell at you.
What would you do? Let's say you his mother. What would you
talk
do?
with them? I would probably have a.
No, you do what?
Yell at him too.
You would yell back at him?
My daughter, probably initially, yeah, for coming in.
No, wait a minute. No, you're not going to yell at nobody. I run this. All right?
I'm yelling at you.
You do what I tell you to do and shut up. Shut up.
I'm yelling at you.
Give me, be quiet. Give me somebody else. Norma, what would you do? Y'all scared, I know. Melissa, what would you do? Okay, I'm gonna get Johnny in a second. Melissa, what would you do?
No, go to Johnny first, please.
No, all right. Go ahead, Johnny.
What you asking me, sir? How did it make me feel?
Yeah, I'm asking, what would you do if, okay, you my son. What would you have done, or what would you have said to me?
I would have did just what the young man did. I would have folded.
That's
I'd have
good.
been hurt.
That's right. I don't care about you being hurt.
Well, why not, Dad?
Hey, first of all, don't ask me no damn questions, all right? You just do the stuff you're supposed to do at school and leave the rest of it to me, all right? Now shut up and just do what I tell you to do. All right, somebody else want to make a comment? Kriana Potts, you want to make a comment? What would you have done? Y'all scared. I know you're on there. Rachel? Go ahead, Quan. Go ahead. On a call. She's on the call. Rachel, what have you done?
I think I would have told you that yelling
That
at
was
him
your
isn't
son.
going to help.
What would you have done?
That yelling at him isn't going to help. It's not going to
No, wait a
get
minute. First of
anywhere.
all, I'll tell you, you're not going to talk to me like that in front of my son. You understand me?
And you shouldn't be talking to me like
I'll
that
tell
with
you
both
what,
their parents.
all you got to do is just raise the daughters, I raise the son, and just leave me the hell alone. All right? You understand?
Yeah, that's hard.
All right. Now, do y'all think this stuff works? Do you think that really happens the way I'm depicting it right now? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that one of our agreements is that we always entertain feelings. If something come up and you don't like it, we work through it. And believe me, we can see the origin. See, one of the philosophies we have, we don't do the foundation work. We do the bedrock. We do things that the foundation is setting on. So if you get mad, we deal with it. And believe me, there are a lot of people, as we do that role play, and I get to snapping at them like the kids feel it, they understand how the kids feel. I remember doing a workshop for Columbia Public Schools one time, and all the teachers were waiting on me, and I purposely stood outside the door and waited about 8 minutes before I walked in. So they were talking about, man, it got late, that. So what I did, when I walked in, they were talking, Mom, I said, shut up. Each one of you, all y'all just shut the hell up. And the teachers looked at me like, this is a fool. They started going to walk out. I said, don't do that. The kids can't walk out, can they? When you're in a bad mood. So the point I'm trying to make, I think that experiential learning is very, very important. You can learn with your head, but you got to lead with your heart. You can understand your past, but you got to live forward. And some people are scared to do that. So let me just stop for a moment. So in other words, I was trying to demonstrate what we do in our classroom. We don't talk, we feel and we react at the same time. That make any sense? Wave your hands if it does. Okay, Dr. Palmer, we called you earlier, but you wasn't around.
Let me see how to do this. Wait a minute. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. I don't even know how to work this. I'm on my phone. Hold up. But let me tell Dr. Dodley.
Well, long as you got it.
Wait a minute. How do I speak?
We can hear you talking.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay,
Ms. Palmer, Dr. Palmer.
I apologize, Dr. Dodley. I was at an appointment, and so I couldn't get on. But I just want to say I love the fact that not only do we talk about it, but we talk about how we feel and how addressing those feelings makes us do that internal work that brings about that systematic change inside of us. So I just love this. I love the role plays. I love reentry. You know, you're my rock, Dr. Dodley. So just thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
Well, I appreciate your comment. Let me just tell you this too, that our group got another activity they're gonna do after we hang up. They got to draw a picture of what a relationship looked like. Now, hopefully they did their homework. We don't know. But it's interesting, the different art, and Miss Gamble, you know what, she's gonna, you know what I think would be nice before we hang up? If we can show the group the pictures that you had in the past about relationships and how we try to get to it. Now, I know Miss Gamble probably saying, that wasn't on the agenda, Dr. Dodley, but she always found a way to pull things out. We want to show you, she's going to do a little video and talk about the importance of showing a picture of what a relationship looked like and what some other people have said in the past. All right, Ms. Gamble, can you do that?
You want me to show the video, Doc?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so while I'm looking for the video, I would like I would be remiss if we did not allow the Queen Mother of relationships, Marcia White, to say something, because she actually helped to birth this whole thing back in 2008 and has been an intricate part since the beginning. So what you see is residue from all of the seeds that she has planted. So like I said, I always get nervous when she's in the room, but I would like for her, and this is stalling tactics so I can find the video, but if we could have Marcia to say something while I look for this video real quick, just about love notes and the whole reentry, because I know that's her passion.
Well, thank you. You guys did a fabulous job, class number 90. It's unbelievable. I'm so super proud. I am so super proud. You guys processed every part of it. And so I appreciate you and I thank you. But before I say anything about love notes, we have Malika Brown on here who now works at Franklin County, but also went through the reentry program, I think in 2019, Malika. Pop back on here, honey.
Yes.
Yep. Want to hear from you.
At 19.
Yes. So do you mind saying a few things about the benefits of the reentry program when you went through it?
It helped me like get over like my past and just move forward, a better relationship with my kids. Back then I really wasn't talking to my mom all like that. So now actually me and my mom, we actually live under one roof now. So I just think that pathways and reentry, I think that all helped me to move on and just live in now and not really like dwells in my past how it was, just pick it up and leave. Like, let it go.
Thank you. So Malika married reentry with Impact to Pathways. So I'm technically employed with Impact Community Action and have been since 2008, but I've been on loan to the Pathways program with Franklin County for the past 3 years because I saw benefit of both of them reaching the same population of people. So I'm super honored to be in a position to share love and compassion and the wisdom that God has blessed me with through both programs and access to really to way more people. So to talk a little bit about love notes, it is I didn't know what I didn't know about relationships until I went through that training about 13 years ago. And I don't think any of us do as adults. You ready, Marion? Okay, I don't think we at all know what we don't know about about relationships until you go through a relationship curriculum. You don't know that you can have expectations. You don't know that the first requirement of establishing a relationship is to jump in bed with somebody. So for many, many years, we were doing it backwards. We were given benefits. And you guys know when you first get a job, how long does it take before you start receiving benefits? How long? Anybody? 2
Someone
months?
said 90 days.
90 days. 90 days before your insurance starts to kick in and before you're considered a full employee. You go through a probationary period. And so we started looking at relationships the same way. You don't just jump into bed and give the benefits away without a probationary period, because people can fool you with made up personalities for at least 90 days. And then the real personalities start to come out. So that gives you that time too in developing the relationship that you have with yourself first. How you view and value and love yourself. Because if you don't feel good about yourself, it's really hard to make somebody else feel good about themselves or about you. How you're in relationship with your creator. How do you view the creator of the world, of the earth? and how you're in that relationship, how you're in relationship with your colleagues, your coworkers, your employer, and how when you're not in a healthy relationship with them, how do you pull up a chair and sit down and say, can we have a conversation about what is not feeling healthy about our relationships right now? So it's something that you have to be intentional with and purposeful for, that you want to establish and maintain healthy relationships. You ready, Marion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But thank you guys. Thank you for allowing me an opportunity to say something. I love reentry. I love our reentry program. I love the impact as my home base, but I love the opportunity that Franklin County, Johnny and Patrice and Melissa and Malika and Kiana and Morgan, all of those, my pathways, my Franklin County family down, and our newest mama of the bunch now, Miss Pride, who is our new director. I'm really excited about being in a position to work and learn from her. So thank you. You know, I'm very relational, so I wanted to shout out to all of my family.
Hey,
That's on
Marcia,
here.
I just
And I didn't say Ryan, our disc jockey. I'm looking right at you
I heard
too.
you saying everybody's name but mine.
Keep talking, because he has the radio disc jockey voice. And so my screen moved over, and I don't know if that's Norma from our office that's on here too. She's our fiscal person. But I appreciate all of you, and I really love you, and I mean that with my whole heart. You ready, Marion?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Marcia. And I want to give a shout out to Malika. Like Ursula, they are some tough cookies, boy. I don't know, they may be a fine specimen now, but honey, I remember Malika coming through. Sheesh. It's wonderful just to see people in their journey and transition, and to know that there was something possibly that we said or done to assist as they move forward. And always love that they come back and feel that this is a safe place. It's a warm and loving place that they can come back to at any time, at any point, and we'll be here. All of the people that were involved, no matter where we go, like Marcia said, she has moved around, but she's still accessible. So hi, Malika. Okay, so I want to show this video for Love Notes where we ask the question to describe relationships. And instead of saying it, we ask them to draw a picture, because sometimes you can, you ever have somebody tell you, I can show you better than I can tell you. So the pictures kind of give them an opportunity to show what they believe relationships are like. And this is a video introducing that activity.
Hello, it's me again, here to talk about relationships. For this activity, I want you to think about the phrase, relationships are like. We have different experiences and different perspectives on what we think relationships are like. We've had good ones, bad ones, okay ones. So altogether, how would you explain to someone what relationships are like? Better yet, how would you explain it to a 15-year-old who trusts you and come to you for guidance? Answer the question, relationships are like. But instead of writing it in your journal, I want you to draw a picture. Use anything you have, a piece of computer paper, a sheet of computer paper, notebook paper, whatever you have that will allow you to get creative and get creative. I want to show you some examples of what some of the other class has done to describe relationships. This person said it's like a car. Don't take care of it and it won't work. If you do, it'll last forever. This person said, and I love this person said that it's like a tree. There are many different branches, but as long as the roots are strong, it'll last forever. Okay. This person said it's like icy hot. And you see that? It's like icy hot. At first, it's really, well, it could start off cold and then it'll be real hot sometimes. This person said that it's like yoga. You got to be flexible. And they draw people being real flexible, right? This person said it's like a roller coaster, twists and turns and upside down. See how they did that? And this person said that relationships are like music, a wide variety that you can change whenever you want. I don't think they're talking about committed relationships. And I have this one, which is super funny. Relationships are like, you get the picture. So I want you to use your imagination and draw a picture, and we'll talk about it next time we get together in our chat. Have fun.
Okay, as you see, we try to, and like Ms. Gamble said, have people look at relationships in different kind of ways. And that's what we're gonna hopefully do this evening. Ms. Gamble, you want to say anything more about your pictures?
No, Doc, we're going to, unless the class wanted to share their pictures, I'm not sure how much time everybody has, but the class, that was their homework assignment yesterday, and we were going to go over it today. So I know some of you may know some of the people in the class and may be interested in seeing what they drew. So that is definitely something that we can do if there's time in which to do that. I'll leave it up to you, Doc. It's 11:51.
Oh, wait a minute, let's find out. How many of you? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, we have someone gonna do this. Hold on one second. Katrina. Okay.
Look, don't judge me on my drawing, okay? So to me, it's like a sailboat. Either it's floating, going upstream or downstream.
Just where the wind blows. Huh? All right, anybody else do theirs yet? Melissa, Mariska said we can't judge her either. She's gonna do hers.
The squiggly line draw is supposed to be the waves, because
Wait a minute.
relationships are like the ocean. Some of the waves will knock you down, but you always get back up because you learn how to jump over the ones that you see coming straight at you.
Whoa, all
Mariska,
right.
wait, Mariska, can you
Yes?
come close? Can you bring it closer to the screen?
It's just a bunch of squiggly lines like the ocean, like.
That's okay. I wanted to see the squiggly lines. Okay, thank you.
I can't draw.
Jeffrey, JJ, I know you were trying to show your picture earlier. Hopefully you'll come back as we're showing pictures now. Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Oh no, we got anybody else want to show their pictures?
Myron or Molly, Sherry.
Chad is working on his, but we can do it.
Molly, you
I
have
don't know.
yours? Okay, Molly, then Myron.
Molly, okay.
You're on mute, Molly.
Oh, sorry. Mine's a flower. And I said, if you care for it and give it time and attention, it will flourish and grow. And if you don't take care of it, it will die.
Oh, very good.
Myron?
Mine is a heart, which deals with the characteristics of hope, love, honesty, ethics, discipline, challenge, loyalty, and opportunity.
All right.
Thank you. JJ, you got your picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I went by, I stopped at Molly's house when she went to bed. I borrowed her coloring pencils and did mine and snuck out. I got a heart. It says relationships, and then you see the little brown things. It says, like Luna's poop, they stink. They're hard to find.
All right.
Thank
Yes, sir.
Thank you, JJ.
All right. I'm gonna mute myself.
Thank you.
So we do
Who
that.
else?
I'm sorry. Is there anybody else that wanted to show their picture? Sherry, I didn't see your face, but now I see your name. Sherry, did you have a picture? See, this is when they start to act like they got technical issues and they can't hear or their video can't come on or something like that. Okay, Sherry, okay. So one of the other things we do with Love Notes is to talk about expectations, which is what Marcia was talking about. We spend a lot of time planning where we want to live and what our education, what degrees we want to get, what job we want to get, and those type of things. But rarely do we sit down and really think out our relationships and our expectations. And those conversations we have to have with ourselves first. So we know what our wants and desires are. And we also know what we don't want or what we can't have in our relationships. And in our time together, as we have talked about a lot of things, you start to realize that if you're a recovering addict, then having somebody in your life that drinks can be your deal breaker. You cannot be around alcohol, or you cannot be in certain situations. But knowing that up front will help you to make better choices moving forward, instead of getting in the middle of it and then trying to figure out how to get out of it. So we talk about expectations, setting them first, getting to know yourself so you can set those. And it's okay to have deal breakers. For me, smoking is a deal breaker. So if I know that I don't like smoking, so I don't want to have to deal with that. So if I meet somebody and they smoke, we don't have to go any further. You're gonna be my buddy. We're gonna be cool, but we're not gonna be intimate, because that's not what I want in my life. And it will help you to navigate things a little easier and navigate your relationship. So there's a lot that we cover going through Love Notes, and that's just a piece of it.
Yeah, and I just want to say that one of the most important parts of Love Notes is the pyramid. And we talk about activities. I have a little pamphlet here that says 101 ways of making love without doing it. Okay? And for example, some of the things that you can do to start a relationship off is like, give the person a hug, find out the special things the person likes, exercise together, do work projects together, choose a special favorite song together, dedicate a song on the radio to that person, go for moonlight walks, give each one of you a sexy look. How many of you know how to give a sexy look? Okay, to that person, give each other pet names, go sightseeing, rent a video, do things with each other without asking, for each other without asking, whisper something sweet to that person's ear, be the best friend, meet their friends, even a little carriage ride to the park, flirt with each other, laugh at something funny, be faithful, make a list of things you like about each other, read a book together. I'm just saying that there are a lot of things that you can do to build up a relationship. Versus just starting off with sex, then that just kind of, you're going it backwards. Okay, so the foundation is a lot of little simple things. And I'm just curious, and everybody wants a picture of it, but it's 101 ways of making love without doing it. And I tell you one that's real good, fishing together. Woo-hoo-hoo. You really get a chance to know the person when you fish with them. Okay, so I got a copy here. I'm gonna make sure. Does anybody want a copy of this? I'll make sure you get it. How many of you ever went horseback riding together? Okay. How many of you ever seen the sunset together? Oh, I see somebody doing that. So there's a lot of little simple things that we can do. Cook each other's favorite meal. How many of you like to cook? Okay. How many of you like to eat? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, like I said before, it's 101 ways of making love without doing it. And then, like I said before, we're gonna allow some time just to make sure that you get a chance to ask any questions you might want to ask. And I just want to remind you too, after each activities, our family, we do journals. We provide the curriculum for them. Some of them ask, can we keep it? Oh yes, your curriculum. So they can use it for some other time. Okay. Are there any comments? I want to make sure we got plenty of time for anybody who might want to have something they want to ask, say, or whatever. Okay. Wait a minute.
I'm Miss White. It's Ursula. Miss White, when I went through Impact, I didn't get to take love notes because I went to the trade center. I still don't know how to do no relationship. I'm just in one by myself. And but at the point in my life, I'm okay with that. But I did get something that you do over at Pathways from one of my clients bought me something in, and it's something about loving yourself, getting to know yourself from the inside out. And I don't have all of it, but that's what she said that you're teaching them. Not to say anyone's name, but I love that fact. And I really, all the things that Dr. Dudley just read off horseback ride, guess what? I just did that by myself last month. Cooking, I love to do that by myself. I've raised my grandchildren until my daughter got herself situated. I'm in an apartment by myself, and guess what? I love being by myself. So I'm celebrating my, what you call it, singleness right now. And it's okay. That's okay, right? Then I'm learning to love myself first, because I felt like I've loved so many other people, and I don't know. But I
love yourself first before anyone to teach people how to love you. You have to learn to love yourself.
But so, I get told that, you know, those things like Mr. JJ was talking about, the things that people call us, and I get called mean a lot. And it's not that, like, when you only care about yourself, like I'm self-centered. But I don't think I was self-centered. I think I've been focused and driven. I had to raise two little young ladies all over again. And I didn't have time for the okie doke. I didn't have time for the games, and I was still working on me. So with that, when she said that, love yourself from the inside out, do you know that I went and bought all kind of books and stuff, and I have just been enjoying, like, celebrating the small things in my life that I actually love to do by myself. I like my house being quiet. I like riding in my car and not having to say nothing to anybody, just learning to just love myself. And I think that's one of, I don't know exactly what you're doing over there at Pathways, but that is a wonderful thing. And I thank you for that. And I want to take it. I want to get in.
Give you a book.
Okay, he's gonna give me a book. Thank you.
Okay.
I love being by myself. Thank you.
Good job.
Lewis, tell Ursula we're gonna make that happen.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna give her a Love Notes book,
Yes.
and for now, so she'll have a head start. And one of the things about that book, it's good for everybody.
Yeah.
It's good for your kids to have too, because one of the things in there in that book, I think it's on page 2 or 4 or something like that, it's the baggage from the past. And we know things from the past can affect your relationship that you have today, and so forth. So it touches on all aspects of a relationship. And like I said before, we try to make our reentry program holistic and change at the same time. There's still some things that we don't do anymore, because we run our we're getting new things to do all the time, you know? So I'm just saying that with our program, it's progressive. It's not just stable, and it's adjustable, and it's flexible, okay? We went from, well, we do 3 weeks, but people still are in touch with it. In other words, I might do some phone work and talk to people even after hours. It's not just to 12:30, 1 o'clock. I was on the phone another night with someone about 8 o'clock at night, talking about a certain issue. So I'm saying that it's not just 9:30 or 10 to 12:30 for us. We put our heart in what we do, because it's just important to be able to do your head and your heart together. And everybody can't do the curriculum, you know, and everybody, and it's okay. But this is where we do ours. Okay.
Hey, Doc, I think Johnny had something to say.
Okay, go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, I do. Good morning and actually good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say thank you to you, Dr. Dodley, and to the whole Impact team, but especially the participants and the graduates for just allowing us, for opening up and giving us intimate moments about who you are, some of the experiences that you've had, what you've experienced in this course. And like I said, just allowing us to celebrate with you. But I know it's not probably always easy. It's not for me kind of open up, but I know when I do, I grow. And so I just appreciate how you have allowed us to be a part of it today, with all sincerity. And that's it. I mean, I appreciate you, and I took a lot from it. So thank you. Good luck and God bless.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I just want to tell you too, if the group had said they didn't want to do it, we wouldn't have done it. I asked permission first, and they all agreed, yeah, we want to do this. So it wasn't just us, Ms. Campbell and I, saying we're going to do this. We asked them first, and everybody was comfortable with it, except for some people a little nervous, but they already knew what we said about confidentiality and so forth. So I appreciate my family. I just got a new family, that's all it is. So I just wanted to say thank you for allowing us for you to share what you learned. And that means a lot to me. Because Ms. Gamble and I, we could talk it all day long, and it's like, with what we do. But now you see it. Okay. All right. Any other comments from anybody? Okay. Molly, you got something you want to say? Go ahead, Molly.
I guess I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to be in this class. I've really enjoyed it. I'm a really shy person. So at first I didn't really want to speak a lot, but I've kind of come out of my shell a little bit, and you've made it really easy for me to do that. So I can appreciate you and Miss G and everybody else in the class. So thank you.
I just want to say, what's Larry's last name, who couldn't be with us today? Clemens? We have a person who, I think his name is Larry Clemens. He's at one of the homes, and he's I think it's a pastor, to tell you the truth. But he couldn't be with us today because he had a doctor's appointment that he couldn't miss. He's already rescheduled it. But he's writing a book, and he's putting some of the things that he learned in our group in the book. And he was going to actually do some things about the Jihad Window and how he incorporated into his book. And I'm looking forward to it. But he couldn't be here today. He really hated it, but he really had a specialist, a doctor he had to see today. And I know Larry Clemens is his name. And he's a good pool shooter, from what I understand what Chad said. Chad said he shoots pool. But if you look at it, you think he can't. So he's a fooler, you know. So anyway, I'm just saying that we learn a lot about each other, and I love it. And I just feel like I have a whole new family, and I can't wait to get them out one day. We all have a big old picnic with a lot of food and lies to each other.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. Todd, anything that you want to say before we go? Oh, Todd left, didn't he? Okay, Myron, got anything, parting words? You're on
I
mute.
just want to say I appreciate everybody for coming and hearing us out and taking a look at our class. Thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to be in this class, Doc and Miss Gamble and Lewis, Mr. Lewis. I appreciate it for sure.
Okay, I think Jerry wants to say something too.
I do want to remind everybody this one thing. Miss White, Marcia, has a session. Is it at 2:00 today?
Yes. Yes.
It's at 2:00 today. So if you are available to log on to, now I'm messing myself up. So it's, what is the email? I mean, the website that they go to? Sorry.
Central Ohio Reentryweek.com. Central Ohio Reentryweek.com. I'm gonna put it in the chat too.
Thank you. If you have a chance today at 2:00, go check Marcia out. She has, it gets deeper, it gets better. She was, she has a lot to say. You'll leave it wanting more and wanting more.
Thank Marion.
Yeah.
It's pressure.
Okay, Jerry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I appreciate being in the group for the 3 weeks.
Speak up, sir.
I learned a lot. And I wish everybody the best.
Okay. Any parting words? Wait a minute, Chad got a parting word.
I just really appreciate
Speak up,
everybody.
sir.
Appreciate everybody being opened up, making not only me feel comfortable, but everybody else in the class feel comfortable. And definitely Mrs. Campbell and Mr. Godley. They definitely taught us a lot within myself. I thank you for that.
As far as again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate everybody listening. I kind of opened up in here on a couple of things that I really kept to myself. And I know everything is safe what I said here, hopefully. You know, and I just want to thank you, Ms. Gamble, for teaching me some stuff about myself in this class.
I want to thank you for allowing yourself to be you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We ain't done nothing.
Thank you.
It all come from you.
I had a lot on my plate and they worked with me coming in here to be in this class, and I appreciate that too, Ms. Lewis. You know, he's not on there. So
Okay. Okay, make sure we tune in to Ms. White at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you then. And if there's nothing else, Ms. Gamble, I'll make sure I can hang up because I forget stuff.
I want to say thank you to Wendy, our technical support for today. Had a little struggle getting started, but thank you, Wendy. You were our hero. We appreciate you.
Yes,
no problem.
Thank you so
It was
much.
a pleasure
Thanks,
to
Wendy.
view your class. Hey, thank you guys. It's a pleasure to view your class. It's amazing what you're doing and it's really wonderful. Thank you.
Wendy, is that a bathrobe you got on?
Oh, I forgot it. We are on live stream. Just shh. Nobody. It's cold up in here. Okay. Thanks for pointing that out, Dr. Donnelly. I'm never going to forget that.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to show how comfortable you are. That's good.
We're being who we are in this class, right? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy. No kidding. All right. Ms. Campbell,
All right.
through?
Yes. Have
Okay.
a nice evening.
And thank you for joining us. Thank you.